the gym. We have another episode with another one of our sponsors today, 1440.
Hi.
What are your names?
Thanks for having us, by the way.
Yes.
Appreciate that. We appreciate you. My name is Cheryl.
And thank you as well. And I'm Chris DeLeon.
All right. Well, I have to be honest with you guys. I'm still a little mind blown that you guys listened to me and sat down with me and let me pitch the podcast, because coming in here I was such a ball of nerves.
Yeah, I can see why, but your personality is so inviting, and sometimes when you come across good people, you know right away, and so we'd obviously have no reason not to listen to you, and so I know your intent with everything is so pure, and so we were glad we could help.
Yeah, thank you.
You mean a lot, even though you had you left for a little bit and came back, but you've always meant a lot. You've always kind of been there. You've always messaged me, you know that.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
God works in special ways.
Oh, well, thank you for letting us record here too. This alone in itself is a blessing to have a gym.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We're glad we could do it.
Okay, before I cry.
I know, seriously.
So, how did you guys get started? Actually, let's go with how did you guys meet? Because your journey kind of merged and then
Merged again. No.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it's definitely fate. Long story, but we met at Angelo State in our very first class. We both had significant others at the time, but we kind of knew each other. We'd see each other around campus, and then randomly the second semester we both lived on campus, and we ended up living next door to each other, and we had just both broken up with our other significant others, and
We were supposed to just be friends.
yeah.
You know how that is.
Yeah.
And then no. But it worked out good because we started on a friendship basis, and I think that's a huge thing for a relationship. If anyone asks who's my best friend, it's him, because that's what we started as, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty fun.
Yeah,
For sure.
That was all chance, but definitely wouldn't change anything.
So, what were you guys going to college for?
Partying. I was really lost in life. I did have a business major. I did not graduate, but I wouldn't change that either, because you're young. I had a lot of good times, and even though I didn't graduate, I learned a ton of things in college through the process, and then I met a lot of great people.
Mm-hmm.
My wife being one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got a degree in marketing, and that's pretty much it.
So, when did you get into fitness? Did you guys play sports?
Yes. So I played volleyball. I was a defensive specialist, and that's really the only sport I played, really.
And then I've always been into athletics, every sport really. We thoroughly enjoyed playing intramural sports together. And then even after college, I would play random pickup games, basketball, tennis, whatever it could be, golf. I just like being competitive, honestly. And then remind me of the question though. How did we get into the gym, right?
Yeah. So, did you play sports?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So exactly. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So, how does it go from you graduating college and you kind of have a history of fitness background? How do you go from that to gym? I want to own a gym. I want to do this with my life.
So that it was never our intent.
Yeah, we never woke up and was I'm going to do a gym in
No,
college or nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was never our intent. Honestly, it's kind of an interesting story. I had been selling cars for 6 years, and it was a great profession for me for that time in my life. But it was just too many hours, too much being away from home, that kind of thing, and it was just a daily grind. And one thing I enjoy doing in the downtime while selling cars, I go on Craigslist, and I'd like to buy cars and flip them, or boats, motorcycles, and I came across a link for businesses, and Fitness 1440 happened to be one of the listed ads for sale in San Angelo, and I pursued it through Craigslist.
Wow.
Yeah. At the time, in fairness, at the time we were working out 3 or 4 times a week as well. We would go work out 5 a.m. We were pretty consistent for at least 2 or 3 years. So the idea of owning a gym was really cool, but not necessarily something I had like dreamed of.
So was 1440 already here, or were they looking for somebody through Craigslist to open one here?
Yes, so they were looking through Craigslist to find a franchisee to open a gym here. It is a franchise.
So you see this, what is your process from, like, it blows my mind, like, what is that?
So there was no process.
No.
There's no process with Chris. Pretty much came home, and at the time I worked at a local eye doctor here in town, and it was great. I appreciate it. It was amazing. And,
Yeah.
But I think at that moment in our life, we kind of were just like itching for something different. We didn't really know what it was at that point. And he came home, and I remember exactly where I was sitting, and he was like, hey, we have a meeting to open a franchise, a gym franchise, and we're going to Georgia.
Atlanta.
Atlanta, Georgia, and we're going to meet with him. And this is how much it is to get in, and yep, we're doing it. And I was like, time out, let's rewind, where did this even come from? And then it kind of just opened up doors that we would have never imagined were being opened, like at that point.
Yeah, definitely completely snowballed, and there was 100% lack of preparation on our end. But I'm actually very grateful for that, because there's a lot that goes into opening a business that we were unaware of. And I think if you're completely aware of everything that it takes, that doubt and fear will tend to sneak in. And so I was glad that we got to a point to where we couldn't back out. And so at that point, we just kept figuring things out.
Like, it was all about faith and what was happening in our life. Like, we didn't have any control of anything moving forward after that. Like, we were in the deep end, 100% at the bottom.
Were you guys like asking questions, or like asking other people questions, or were you researching like all this stuff?
Kind of both, but also this was 2017,
17, yeah.
which things were a little bit different. I know it's not that long ago, but the internet wasn't quite as like prevalent in like the different forums and the groups, or those have kind of evolved over the last 3, 4, 5 years. So it was very difficult, and we had to put a lot of trust really in the franchise. We did, thankfully, on that trip to Atlanta, we went with my dad, and we actually saw 4 to 6 gyms along the way. So we were able to go into multiple fitness 1440s, not telling them what we were doing or who we were, just to kind of get a feel for the gyms and what they offered. And we left every gym feeling
good.
Obviously, we were excited, so it was hard to make us not feel good. But
yeah, but just like the presentation of all the gyms that were locally owned was a huge deal. Like, we want to be welcomed, we want to be all the things with them. And I felt like after that little trip we had, like, it kind of just like check that box. Like, okay,
yeah,
I feel like
we were definitely all in.
Yeah.
So whenever Taryn and I met with you guys the other day, you said something that you guys pride yourself on is that you're locally owned. So what is the difference in, like, so 1440 is a bigger name, but why is it different in a way that you're locally owned?
So 2 things. Well, you're gonna see us here in the gym, and even though we are a franchise, we don't have anybody to answer to in the same sense that a corporate gym would own. We're able to kind of do things in our own way and make things personal and
Like finesse, essentially.
Yeah, and make our own decisions at the end of the day. There is some guidelines that we follow, but it's very little, and most of the guidelines are like with the initial setup of the gym and everything like that. But we have a lot of leeway in what we do and decisions we make. And so it's really nice. I mean, for us, it was really best case scenario, because I didn't like the idea of being told what to do, how to do it, when to do it. And obviously there's benefits to that as well, because there's a system that's true and tried. But at the end of the day, we wanted to kind of do our things our way and just feel good about whatever decision was being made.
Mm-hmm. And another thing is that we pride ourselves in is that, like, ASU is a huge part of our life, and like, we want to, I guess, what would be the word, like,
Not sure where you're going.
like, help the students out.
Give back.
Yeah, like, give back to them. So, like, not only are they going to school for, their major, but, like, we give back to the community in that way. So it's not just like, we're in New York doing crazy things or whatever. Like, it's going to the students, it's helping people out, it's wanting them to succeed, and it's not only like financially, it's also like spiritually, and we're friends with it. Like, it's the whole thing. It's like they're family to us once they come to us. So, like, it's a whole thing of like locally owned. Like, people don't realize like all the little things that go into that. Like, even our daughter, the girl that you see running around crazy, like, you're putting her through school. You're putting her through her genetic condition that we have to pay for certain things. Like, it's like pretty intense whenever you really think about local owned businesses. We go through a lot. Like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that like you have to keep up with as owners? Like, I saw your list the other day. It's a mile long. Do you ever get a break?
I would say we're definitely blessed in that aspect, honestly. Like, yes, our list is long, but we have great staff that really has our back in every way, shape, or form. Like, if there's something that comes up, I could call any one of them and say, hey, look, I can't do this. Can you do it? Now, there's also that other side is where we're kind of we like to be in control of a lot of things, so we kind of hold that on the side. But anything as, obviously, accounting stuff, like how we run our systems, making sure the customer satisfaction, that's probably one of Chris's top things he has to worry about and keep up with is customer satisfaction across both gyms.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. We do have a lot, but ultimately I look at it as like a game, like, real life Monopoly type setting or type scenario. And so for me, I don't look at it often as work, and I enjoy what we do every day. And we've also been doing it long enough now where we're efficient. And so if we choose to get things done in a couple hours, we can. And not a lot of stuff we do is like super pressing. That's the beauty of the gym world too, is obviously that's naturally is going to slow down on weekends and holidays, which is great for us because we want our employees to have off, and we'd like to have those times off as well. But the one part of that is very true is there are times where we can't shut our brains off completely, or we get something that is pressing and has to be handled, and you get those scenarios from time to time. But all in all, it's a blessing.
Gosh, my train of thought there it is. Okay, so you have one gym, and then what made you say, okay, I want 2 gyms?
That was
Was that another,
we-
babe, we're doing this kind of situation?
No, we sound like, it's funny, we sound like, we're going to sound like we didn't even want businesses, but, so, with the second gym, that was around COVID that I had gotten a phone call or an email, and they reached out to me. The people who own the building, the landlord, had reached out to me and said that they had a building for lease in Odessa, and we had just had our daughter. There was COVID. There's other things, and we had kind of sat down and game plan too, and we had kind of said, look, we're just going to sit back, enjoy Stella being little, and there'll be a time in life when we get after it again and really grind, but we can't get this time back with Stella, so we want to enjoy life.
So we kind of just wrote it off.
Yeah, take care of what we can and work as little as possible, as crazy as that sounds, and enjoy the time because it ends fast. And so I had told him, yeah, really I don't have any interest, but I had forwarded his information to the franchise, the owner of the actual franchise, and thought nothing of it. And literally 6 months later, the owner of the franchise contacts me via email, and he's like, Chris, I've been negotiating with that guy the whole time on this lease. Like, COVID, they can't get nobody to fill it. There's a lot of variables, and he's like, what would it take for you to take over that building and start a gym there? And I gave him a pretty ridiculous offer, thinking like they wouldn't take it, and that put me in a win-win position. And a couple weeks later, they took it. So they took the offer that we had sent them, and
it was done. Yeah, it was just like, we're doing it.
Yeah, that was that. It was.
And we started ordering equipment. We hired the contractor, and it kind of just happened.
Wow.
Yeah, that one was, and that gym is such a blessing too.
So is it more difficult now that you have 2 gyms to bounce around, or is it just pretty, you kind of know the ball game?
Yeah, it's really interesting because the dynamic of them is very different. Obviously, San Angelo being my hometown, Odessa not. It's quite refreshing to go up there and nobody know who I am. And
In a good way.
yeah, in a good way. It's refreshing to go in there and just
Be the cleaner.
yeah, like I can be who most 99% of the people there would think I'm just a front desk guy or whatever, which is, like I said, it's refreshing in a crazy way. But we have been blessed with a remarkable staff up there as well, who does a really good job, and we have just kind of, we've had to really work on and put people in positions and learn and grow.
And they've really taken that challenge like amazingly, honestly.
But it's I used to say all the time though, I wish that gym was a little bit closer so I could go there more often. And now I'm at a point where I'm thankful because I like that it's farther enough away that I don't go there that much, and I let the things we put in place and the things we do, work the gym, work itself out. You know what I mean? Like instead of going up there and worrying about something really petty or dumb that I would want to take care of, I have to let them take care of it. It's better for us. It's better for our family.
Yeah. Yeah. We are going to break to a commercial to hear a word from our sponsors, and we will be back soon.
What would you do with an extra 60 minutes in your day? Do you go for a walk? Do you pick up the weights? Maybe you even help a friend. There are 1,440 minutes in a day. Here at Fitness 1440, we believe in making every minute count. Spend some of those minutes here with us on our turf zone, in our free weights area, the cold plunge, the sauna, and personalized small group fit classes because we are open 24/7. Fitness 1440 is family owned, which means you are giving back to the San Angelo community when you spend time with us. Our members are like family here, and we take pride in our cleanliness. Use code 1445 to receive your first month free and join the Fitness 1440 community today. That's 1440 VIBES. And don't forget to make every minute count.
All right. And we're back. So let's dig into right now, what is your proudest moment? Like on your entire journey, what is something that you're like, you know what, yeah, I'm proud of that? Ooh.
I don't, gym related, home life, what direction are you going with that? Because that's a twofold question, right? Or that's multifaceted.
All right, well, let's take both. Gym life. What is your biggest accomplishment right now?
I would say for this gym here in San Angelo, we went through a lot of troubles in the last couple of years and had a lot of financial struggles with a larger big corporate gym coming to town, and the fact that over the past 12 to 18 months we have just clawed and scratched our way back to a very good place, and we were definitely in a place maybe 18 months ago where the easiest thing we could have done was probably give up.
Probably, yeah. I would say 9 months ago, but.
Well, that whole process, whole time.
It was a dark place for us, and we just had to put our faith in God and just put our head down and go for it. That's all we could really do at that point.
Yeah, but it's nice to see the fruits of your labors. And so we are in a very good place and very happy now with both gyms.
Mm-hmm.
Did it take a lot of communication, between you guys during that time, or was it I'm just gonna head down?
It was odd because not really. I feel like we were communicating in our special way, but we were kind of on a path together, but our own path, because I think we were going through certain challenges separately. Because around 9 months ago is what I'm talking about, he was in Odessa a lot more because we've just opened the gym. So the first 3 to 6 months he was gone a lot, and there was obviously San Angelo financially was, struggling
Yeah.
with all the issues we were having, and I just kind of had to figure it out. But there was a lot of stuff going on in Odessa that I had no idea that he was going through. So it's kind of a thing where we kind of just had to do it.
Yeah, we were. Well, first of all, my personality is I try to be her Superman, so I don't communicate my worries and stuff very well. So a lot of times I just try to shoulder it and take care of any issues and not put any added stress on her. But when we signed the lease with Odessa, that was while this gym was just kicking butt, and so obviously you have things you have to purchase and money that goes out along the way through the building process of the gym. So as the income of here starts to decline for a short period of time, we're also shoveling out more money to our Odessa store, and that's really what made the whole process so difficult. Was like, how could we anticipate that we obviously anticipated some decline in memberships there for a short period of time, but you can never, you never know what it's going to be. And we constantly had assurement from our members and even the community that we had nothing to worry about. And sometimes things change, and I don't think anybody meant it. I think they truly meant those things, but unfortunately it didn't pan out that way. But we made it. We figured it out. I got more gray hair because of it, but we made it.
Where? Just kidding.
Yeah, you're not getting any closer.
So what is your proudest accomplishment outside of this, outside of the gym? What is something that you're like, oh yeah, I'm proud of that? It could be I ran a mile, or I don't know.
For me,
well, that's on the list. That's definitely on the list.
For me, it's no doubt having Stella.
Yeah.
I know that's
Cliche or
whatever,
but
everything I do and think about, and as far as my goals and accomplishments, in one way or another, they can all be tied back to her at this point in my life. And so there's no doubt for me that it's her.
Yeah, I can 100% agree on that.
Yeah, I'm not just looking to run a fast mile just for me either, right? Like that's so I can run around with her, or enjoy coaching her, whatever it is.
So did something change inside your mind when you had Stella? Was it like, I'm this person, then it's like, because for me, I had CrossFit and something just switches.
I think yes, of course, and a mom, it's always going to. During that time in our life when I was pregnant, Chris was actually going through a lot mentally. He was having high stress with us going through COVID. That was the main stress. I was pregnant. We closed the gym for 60 days. Financially, we weren't bringing in anything, but we still had employees. And then, of course, I'm going to have a baby in a few months. So, I think he was, and he had to have back surgery a week after we had Stella. So it was pretty a shift in me was already happening, but he was in his own, no, not in a bad way, but he was just under a whole different stress than I would never understand. But we ultimately tied it all together because it was of Stella, or because of Stella, essentially. So his came, I think, a little more delayed than I did.
It definitely took
in a different form,
Yeah,
I would
it definitely
say.
took me longer to shift. I think, as a dad, as a mom, you get to feel the baby the whole time, and as a dad, you're excited, but it's different, and we're not quite as involved in the infant stage and stuff, right? Because due to nursing and certain things, but so it really for me, it took her personality coming out to I didn't have to think about that I'm a dad anymore. There's a weird stage there where you're like, oh yeah, I'm a dad. As crazy as that sounds. So it took me, like I said, once I started seeing her personality come out, that all kind of shifted, and it just becomes the forefront of your mind.
And once your stress got lifted too.
Yeah.
They grow on you.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so you run a gym, so obviously you work out. What does your workouts consist of right now? What is your go-to workouts?
I'll let you go first.
Well, I do the 3BT training. It's strength training. I've always favored that, style. It's small group training. I tend to not have the motivation if I go by myself. So if I'm not doing that, I would prefer to work out with a friend or whatever the case is, gym buddy, whatever. But I favor that a lot more than just like going and putting my headphones on and lifting. Not saying I don't like those times,
Yeah.
but I do like the social aspect because that's like a time for me to be Cheryl and not a mom, you know, like, or a boss. Like I enjoy like hanging out with our members and just talking about their son in soccer or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So that's probably primarily why I like that setting so much. So in strength training, flexibility, all those things like interest me.
Yeah.
Cardio is not my favorite, but I have shifted to the cardio actually just recently. So that kind of makes me happy that I'm enjoying something I've never enjoyed in my whole entire life in 34 years or whatever. So it's pretty crazy how you can shift your enjoyments and things like when you least expect it. So.
Yeah.
Then for me, I focus on a lot of power training. I still am an avid golfer. I enjoy basketball and things like that. I still do a lot of compound lifts. I don't tend to do those things super heavy. For me, I notice like when I start deadlifting really heavy and stuff, it comes with a lot of soreness, which unfortunately affects my golf game. But I put time and effort into those things, and then I'm an avid runner as well. So I thoroughly enjoy putting on my headphones and going for a run. That's definitely my go-to exercise.
Yeah. All right. So we went through something, your proudest moment. We went to something fun. I'm going to ask you a hard question. And if you don't answer it, it's understandable. What is your biggest struggle right now, like as a person? Like whatever you're going through right now, like what is your biggest struggle?
Ooh. If you're ready, you could go, because I'm going to think about that one for a sec.
You know what the answer is.
Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I'm a very prideful person, and so for me to open up in that sense has always been very difficult. So something did pop in the forefront of my mind, but I don't know that I'm willing to discuss it. But my biggest struggle. I'll say one of my biggest struggles now is saying no to a good time. I'll tell you that. So I'm just like I'm doing a lot better in my life, but I still enjoy going out and hanging with my friends and having drinks and things like that. Luckily, once again with Stella, there's been a huge shift in that, and I rarely do it like I used to. But it's still something that's always going to be a struggle for me, I think.
I feel like something that's been hard on us, especially in the last probably year, I guess, would be like our infertility journey that we're going through. Like, and I'm not like anyone listening to this understands what we're saying, like especially secondary infertility. It's like you're in a different boat than a lot of people. There's different boats of infertility, and secondary infertility is a whole different thing. So I think it's definitely been like a thing where it's been hard on Chris and I. Not saying it's been hard on our relationship. I definitely don't feel like that at all has been a thing. But it's just like, it's hard, regardless of what you're, regardless if, I don't know, just, it's hard.
Yeah, you
for
start
sure.
you start to get jealous or envy or what other people have. But there's a flip side to it, because you also become appreciative for what you do have, right? Like, I had no idea. We purposely wanted to wait a little later to have kids, and so I had no idea that odds of having Stella were low as well, and we were just lucky at that point. And so here we are a few years later, and it was like complete shift. Knowing that we couldn't have or shouldn't have had Stella.
Yeah, like she's pretty much a miracle baby by the grace of God. So it's like whenever everyone, at the beginning of every year, they do like, hey, we're going to do our goals for 2024 or whatever, New Year's resolutions, whatever you want to call them. And it's like, this year was like, I'm going to do a faith goal. And that faith goal is going to be to get pregnant. Like that goal is not going to happen because we decided we're not going to do anything further than that, like IVF or IUI. I think that's what, I'm not familiar with them because it's never been on my heart, I guess. And so it's just crazy that like back when we had Stella, you would have never thought a miracle baby was happening, right? Until you're in that position, you're like, man, is God gonna do another faith goal, another miracle, you know? But it still like chokes you up. Like even tonight, or even this morning, like a song came on, and that's why I think I'm so emotional about it. Like, you just don't stop praying. You just like go into tears and cry for no reason when you're driving to work. Like, it doesn't make sense, but you just have to trust the process, and I think that's where we're at. Like, we're at peace knowing, even though it's hard on some days, like today, at peace knowing that God does have a plan for us to grow our family in a way that we may not know about right now, you know? So, but I definitely don't think it's brought us apart. I think it's brought us closer, like.
For sure.
Yeah. So and that's something to be thankful for sure.
Thank you for sharing. I love asking questions like that because so many people cross through those doors and you have no idea what somebody could be struggling with.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like there's a video that we came across when we were opening the gyms as those doors that you, like the front doors of Fitness 1440 or any gym, really, it doesn't matter. Like, those doors change people's lives. And I feel like essentially people don't, like me and you, us, we don't realize that it's so easy for us to walk through those doors because we're used to it. But like, we're still going through things, but the gym is our safe place, right? We know that. But other people don't have that safe place for the gym because they're going through so much, or they're such a dark place, or whatever. There could be hundreds of stories. But like, those doors change people's lives. And like, we gotta remember when they walk through it, it's like, you don't know what that girl's going through. Like, she could have been abused this morning. Like, we don't know, you know? So it's like, just to see someone walk in those doors that's new, that's like, hey, I haven't worked out ever, like, it just makes me happy because you know how much, like, it was hard for them to walk through there. And like, you just want to almost give them a hug, honestly. But obviously that would be kind of weird. But like, it just makes my heart feel good that, you know, like, they trusted us to be the gym to walk into. And I think ultimately we all just want to be better. Like, even if we are going through those hard times when you're driving to work and crying, like, it's okay.
Just another day in the life.
Yeah.
So what are some of your goals that you are looking forward to? What are some things that you're working on? Could be gym related, could be you want to run a mile.
Yeah. So I have been at a very good place in my life lately, and so with that comes a lot of motivation. But I think one of my main goals at this point is to physically get in the best shape of my life in all facets. And so right now I enjoy any challenge I can put myself
Ooh, don't
through.
tell me that.
Yeah, I do. And but it's so crazy. You do it a few times, and then those challenges become nothing. It's the whole, like, you can look at any situation and take the perspective of, like, I can do anything for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 seconds, however. And so now I realize, like, I don't know, all the things that I used to hate aren't that bad, and I actually enjoy them now.
And that really started, and this sounds crazy, it started with cold plunging.
It did.
Like, and most of St. Angelo doesn't even know about that yet. Like, we're just so delayed on things. It started with cold plunging. He started cold plunging, and then
Yeah, I couldn't even get in.
like 10, 20 seconds. I don't even know what was your first one.
I couldn't get in. I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's that cold for me. I couldn't get in.
And then we just continued doing it.
And then next thing I know, in December, I'm jumping in a pool at our house.
Yeah, we just hang out in the pool. Stella does a cold plunge with us, and then I started running one day. She was like, hey, do you want to run? Which I'm not a runner. You will never see me. You would have never saw me run 3 months ago. And then I was like, you know what? I can sit in a cold plunge for however long I did, 3 minutes. I'm going to run. And so I got up, and he was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, exactly. Please, I've told you multiple times to check on me if I'm running. And now it's just like, great. Like, I think I'm trying to get some employees, we'll see what happens, to do like a Tough Mud Run, or there's so many things out there that you could do, or a triathlon or something. I haven't really found like what we're gonna do, but just like to challenge your mind and your body, really.
It's definitely all interconnected, though. 100% for me.
Yeah.
It changed my mindset and the way I approach things in life.
Yeah, and we have been growing spiritually. We've been growing closer to God, and like I think that's the biggest shift in our whole, like, it all intertwines, like you said, like God, health, fitness, relationships, momhood, fatherhood, friendships, like financially, like everything. It just all ties into one, and it feels good to like know you're just working to be better you. That's all it is. It doesn't, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you feel a difference after your cold plunge from like when you started? Does your body feel different? Like, do you have less aches and pains, or?
So so there's a lot of benefits to cold plunge, and that's going to differ from person to person. For me, I didn't really ever have an issue with that, anyways. But there was a heightened sense of focus. My mood would shift. I just overall better mood for me, and the thing that I think that was the most prevalent was the heightened focus. I struggle with ADHD and sitting down and getting tasks done, and on the days I cold plunge, I am definitely more productive than the days I'm not.
So I'm the opposite. I like get really relaxed and just like, yeah, cool. Like it's just crazy because when we first talked about it, I did it whenever he was in Odessa one day by myself. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go do a cold plunge. I'm going to get so much done in the house today. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, because that's what I see him do, right? And I did it, and I was like, man, this is great. Like, let's, like, just chill out.
Yeah.
Stella, let's just hang out and listen to music the rest of the day. Like, I was, like, freaked out by it, actually. So it's just different for everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, highly recommend.
Yeah,
That is something you just mentioned. Not a whole lot of people know you have. You guys have a cold plunge here on site.
Yes.
So what else do you guys offer other than a cold plunge?
So we have saunas as well, and then we also offer a Fit3D body scanner. And then of course we're a 24/7 facility with free weights, turf area, lots of cardio. A lot of people don't know we have so much cardio. So we have like we have your standard treads, we have stair steppers, incline trainers, rowers, and then we even have assault bikes.
I will say, you guys have the best lighting.
Oh, good.
I love all the windows. I don't know, coming back in here to work out after not being here for so long, I was like, I'm just gonna lay here in the sun and just
Right
like
there by the
soak it in.
window. I know,
Yeah.
it is pretty great, actually.
Yeah.
Those windows are nice, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, do you guys have any other things you would like to touch base on?
Oh.
Anything in your story? Anything journey?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't know if y'all talk about like how the trainers work here.
Oh.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a good question. Taryn just mentioned how your trainers work here. So I was told, I could be wrong, that they like rent a booth through you guys, basically. Like you would get it like a hairstylist. Like
They're contracted.
Okay.
So we do have contract trainers too, which is super nice on both both sides of it, because it takes headache off our plate, and then it allows the trainer to kind of set their own rates, worry about scheduling, do all of the the day-to-day operations, where we just give them a place to work out and then have their clients work out as well. For us, it was a win-win all the way around. Personal training is can be a very difficult logistically, and trying to coordinate things. It's a very difficult process. It really is, and there's sometimes when the gym is running the show, there's a lot of hands, and then there's a lot of ideas, this, that, and the other. And so for us, we just kind of got to the idea of like, it's not about making the most money, it's about simplifying our life. But yes, all of our trainers are contracted out in the same sense that a hairstylist would be.
Gotcha. Aaron told me that one day. I was just asking him questions. I love to ask questions. And he was like, yeah, they're like however you said it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've never heard of that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not for everybody. It just simplifies things.
yeah. Welcome to Hera Health, an innovative women's health and aesthetic clinic created, well, by women. Hera Health specializes in hormonotherapy, aesthetics, PCOS, peri and menopause phases, postpartum, and weight loss. Now maybe you're questioning, why do I need to visit Hera? If you are exhausted, maybe you have low libido, you have some stubborn weight to lose, maybe you have painful periods, or you just don't feel like yourself, or maybe you're looking for a confidence boost. Hera Health should be your go-to place. When you enter those doors, you are greeted by like-minded women who understand your concerns and fears. Hera Health also offers aesthetic care like dermal filler, microneedling, medical-grade skincare products, and so much more. They also offer a wellness program to help with your workouts and nutrition. You can book your appointment online at herahealthpllc.com or give them a call at 325-238-7286. Healthcare for women by women. All right, welcome back, you guys. We are going to jump into some rapid fire questions. And my first one is, how much protein do you eat a day? Do you know?
I don't know the answer. I do know not enough. However, there's been a huge shift,
Yeah.
and now
Like the cold plunge shift.
we base all our meals around protein first, and like carbs and stuff. I'm just like anybody else. I love my carbs, and so it used to be definitely unproportionate amount of carbs to meat, and now I've at least got that to 50-50 in the meal. So I am very proud, and then I partake at least a couple protein drinks a day as well.
But yeah, by grams, yeah, I would never.
You'd be surprised the amount of people that don't know.
Oh, I'm
They don't
sure.
know how much I asked that question, they're like, I don't know.
Unless you track it. Yeah.
No, but
Probably should track it.
no, we've definitely been making effort though to make it more.
Yeah. Do you take pre-workout?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
What kind do you take?
The bucked up watermelon. I
All
love
right.
it. And honestly, I think I just like the taste. I mean, it probably does give me a little up at 4:30 in the morning
Yeah.
or 5 o'clock in the morning. But other than that, that's the only caffeine I have 3 days a week, really.
Do you mix it or do you dry scoop?
I definitely mix it with water. Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I have taken pre-workouts, but I don't take any currently. I'm kind of sensitive to caffeine, and so I kind of limit myself.
You're drinking coffee.
I limit myself to 1 cup of coffee a day. So especially like if I work out later in the afternoon, I can't touch pre-workout. Like I can feel it when I try to go to sleep.
Yeah. All right. What is your favorite lift or exercise?
Mine's gonna be single leg deadlifts.
Oh. Elevated or?
No,
No.
I'm working. So after the back injury I had, that is one exercise that I think to this day that has kept me back pain free and stuff. And so it's one thing I target a bunch. And then with basketball and stuff, it's good for vertical. And I think it also helps with quickness and just power in general. So it is definitely one of my favorite exercises.
Yeah, I would say single leg split squats is mine. Yeah, I love those. I don't know what it is. I think the reason why is because I couldn't do them well when I started. And it was like months of coaching, just like it would hurt my butt, it would hurt my knee, it would hurt everything.
My gosh.
And then now I'm like, let's do it. And I love it. Like they always challenge me on doing something different on it. So actually, yeah, I do love those. But no, I am way sore after that for sure.
Do you elevate your foot or are you both feet on the ground?
Usually just 1 foot. Yeah.
What is your least favorite exercise or lift?
I'd say deadlift is my least favorite.
I'm at a point now where I don't know that I have a least favorite. I enjoy every aspect of the gym, and for me, with my perspective now, I always look at it, somebody can't do this, and so I'm thankful and grateful that I can do all of it.
What is your favorite muscle? So if you were looking in the mirror, you're like, oh my gosh, I love this muscle on me. What is your favorite muscle?
muscle I want to have the most. I've been working so hard to get a six-pack.
Oh, my
Like,
favorite.
you know, but then and then the lighting at my house, it like tricks me. I'm like, oh, I almost got a six-pack, and then like you get to like normal lighting, I'm like, dang, like I was
It
full.
was just nice lighting, yeah.
Yeah, it was the lighting getting me.
I would say like the shoulder part right here.
I love shoulders too.
Yeah.
Shoulders and abs.
Yeah.
You know, you have a pool, you could lay out in sunscreen like female do with their faces, just like
And
contour some abs.
highlight it.
Shade the contour of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
What is something you eat or drink every single day?
Eggs. We almost
Cool.
eat eggs every day.
I drink coffee every day.
We eat eggs every day. And then a hydration pack, I drink that every day.
And then, yeah, I do eat eggs every day too. And then up until probably 6 months ago, I ate mac and cheese every day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But I've gotten better, and now I don't keep it in the house because I have no self-control.
Like cups of mac and cheese?
Kraft.
Yeah.
Crap. The worst one of them all.
It's so good.
Probably has that silly putty substance we were talking about.
I really can't. No, it's so bad. The amount of fat in it's horrible. That's why I don't eat it no more.
All right, so what is something you do intentionally every day?
Ooh.
Pray, I would say.
Pray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with Stella. Like every day when I drop her off at school, we pray together. And she had an amazing prayer this morning. Like it was like, man, this makes me feel good. And I think that's probably why I was so emotional coming to work. But yeah.
I don't know that I have anything that I do every day. I go through different phases of things that I think about and different things that I'm motivated about from time to time. But I definitely do. I try to prioritize praying. I try to prioritize 10,000 steps every day. And one thing that's always on my mind is I always think this: if something takes me less than 2 minutes, I just do it now.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because you just put stuff off if you don't.
Yeah.
Stuff that you just think that can't wait or it can wait.
I would say you always say like, I love you to Stella and I, and like give us a kiss on the forehead, like when you see us or when we leave. Like you're really good at that.
That's good news because I don't think about that. I
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah, there you go.
That was so sweet. Do you read or listen to audiobooks?
Read.
She reads every night to a fault.
That was a new hobby thing I picked up a year ago. Thanks to one of my book club, my girlfriends. That's a member. But yeah, we got a book club and then I read.
And then I listen to audiobook. I like to listen to audiobooks when I drive or when I'm doing yard work. But yeah, I definitely don't like to sit and read because audiobooks I can tolerate because I can multitask and be productive. I just feel like sitting there reading a book is unproductive, even though I know it's not.
Yeah. So what are you currently reading or listening to?
Right now I'm reading The Power of 1440. How ironic, right? Heard it on a podcast actually. And then I'm reading a fun book, which I got at Sam's. I don't remember the name of it, but it's like a love story.
Yeah.
So the most recent one is ADHD in Marriage.
Oh yeah, we haven't finished that one, but yeah, it's almost.
It's been super interesting because it's helped me understand the dynamic that we have, and it's also to help me understand like her side of things. We don't always agree at things, and we prioritize different things. And I think the biggest thing is that with ADHD comes hyper focus, and so I oversee things a lot, and so she looks at it as I don't care, when the reality is I actually just didn't see it. But I'm working on how it affects me and prioritizing the things that she cares about too because of it.
Sounds like I may need to go listen to that one.
It's actually a really good thing.
Yeah, it is.
I've told her so many times, like, hey, listen to this part, listen to this part.
So I asked this question to everybody, but it's going to have to be asked different for you guys. This question is, if you had your own gym, what is your number one must-have? But I'm going to rephrase it. When you started to order for the gym, what was your number one must-have? That you're like, ooh, we have to have this.
That's a loaded question because when we first ordered for this gym, I would say we didn't quite have enough gym experience to be able to know, and we didn't understand variety a lot, and we kind of went a little cliche with our first order. A lot of the things that we have now were either recommended to us or we brought them on later. But it's must have. I think when it comes to, for me, it's going to be your free weights and like dumbbells and things like that. Even though every gym's going to have that, I think that's like the staple for me of like weightlifting, and I enjoy dumbbells more than any barbell lift as well. So
I would say mine wasn't a piece of equipment. Mine was always like, we have to have nice bathrooms. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
Like, nice bathroom, that's not. So yeah, pretty much the 1440 design of bathrooms was like Subway, white and black tiles.
that was, I mean, it was
Like really cold and like just different. Like
Yeah.
just something that
the lockers were green and stuff.
yeah, like I wouldn't pick that, which is fine.
So we
But yeah, so I just redesigned the whole bathroom, and yeah, that was my like only priority in the whole gym, really.
Your bathrooms are very clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the makeup bar thing,
Yes.
like, man, I wish I had that at my house. Now I have to lean over and like do all the things, but yeah.
So I have to ask because I'm one to lay on the floor. I lay on the floor at every gym I go to, and I don't know. Anyway, there have been multiple times where I'm like laying in front of all the words, and I read something new every time. Like the other day, I was laying on the tire, and I was like, "Oh, that was a good quote."
Yeah.
Did you get to pick like what words went on the wall, or?
There was just really, it was just a draft of all the words. So whenever they sent me
or quotes.
or all the quotes, yeah. And then when they sent me the design of the wall, they said like, they gave me like 3 or 4 options of how you want it to be on the wall. So essentially I just picked the one that I favored the most. But all the quotes are pretty much already in there.
Yeah, as
For
far as the
14, because it was 1440 designs.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously we love them all. So
As far as the graphic, yeah, we really had to give credit to the
yeah,
1440.
1440.
But that's a lot of why we like this place. I don't know, every time I walk in here, I just think it looks cool.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
if I take a few days off, I'm like, man, this place just aesthetically looks so good. Like it.
Yeah, and that was definitely important to us for sure, too.
I don't even like green, but I like it in here.
Yeah.
Did you have different, so you were owning this gym, did you have different like picks when you opened your second gym? Were your picks different?
Yeah.
I would say yeah, we were way more knowledgeable.
Yeah, we were more knowledgeable. We knew what pieces get used a lot, which ones didn't. For here, it was a big guessing game. But yeah, I think over there we incorporated. I made the mistake here of not having enough dumbbells when we first started free weights and stuff. So over there, I think. Well, I know there's a shift in with people wanting to use free weights, and so I prioritize free weights over there. And so over there, we almost have 10,000 square feet of free weights, and then we have a lot of plate-loaded equipment. I also realized that people like, they like multiple options when it comes to leg machines. They don't just, care for hack squat or leg presses. And so we have some like really cool pieces over there, like power squats, the belt squat. What else do we have? A couple other glute pieces, but we prioritized, free weights, I'd say, for the most part.
Overall, yeah.
Yeah, even that gym's almost double the size, and we only have probably 20% more cardio there, and it doesn't fill up. It's those people go in there and they love their free weights.
While I'm on the topic of equipment, I wanted to ask, what is maintenance like? Because obviously you have people in here using it and it's like wear and tear. Do you have to put a lot of maintenance into keeping machines going?
It's one of those things where if you regiment it out, it's not that much work. So it ends up becoming a problem if you're not doing it weekly or monthly. We're fortunate that my dad helps us out and works with us, and so he's able to help us maintain it, and he'll oil machines and keeps everything running and replaces pads. That's why we're fortunate too that rarely do we have a machine down for very long, because we stay on top of it, and we are either fixing things as soon as they go down or before they go down. But it's really not that hard.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
No, it's just most of the time people don't fix it until it's a huge issue.
Yeah, and a lot of our, like, that is one thing in San Angelo. I'm not familiar as much as with Odessa because I'm not there as often, but like San Angelo members, they're just so respectful of the gym in general. And I feel like it's just amazing because we could have to probably have bought a lot of pieces of equipment because people just don't take care of stuff these days. They don't care. They come go places and they just throw it around. But our members here they're very respectful. If something comes and they understand, like, oh, that piece, like during COVID or after COVID, there's pieces that we ordered that took 6+ months to get in, and I'm just like, my hands are tied. We can't. It's on order, and they were like, oh yeah, okay, no problem. They just understand, like they know that we're real people. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's the good part too about being the local owner too. That at this point, most of our members understand us and understand our personality, and so they know, like, if a machine's down for more than a week or two, they know it's not because we haven't tried to fix it. Like, it's one of my pet peeves. I've taken machines off the floor because I didn't want it out on the floor broken until I could get it fixed.
And even our staff jumps in and
They do. They're really good.
multiple times. Oh, hey, I fixed this machine. I'm like, oh, it was like, that's great. What'd you do? Oh, it just needed this, this, and this. Thank you. Like, they go above and beyond, like, on little things like that, which is huge because some people don't. They don't care. They're just like, I'm here to clock in, say hi to people, and leave. Like, so that definitely does help us out whenever they're attentive to things like that.
Yeah.
So if you could give anybody honorable mention, who would you give honorable mention to and why? It could be somebody you know, it could be a stranger, it could be a friend, a family member, somebody that you would give honorable mention
Only
to.
one person?
One person.
Oh, man.
I think for me, it would 100% have to be my dad. Through the process of opening this gym, we both had full-time jobs. He was fortunate enough to be at the beginning stages of retirement, I think. And so he was able to, like, I would be in lines and I'd be like doing car deals and not being able to get away, and I would have stuff that's pressing. And he stepped up.
He helps a lot.
He stepped up and would, like, respond to emails for me or sit on a phone call, or really he helped in the design process and everything. And I think for me, it's that he has a willingness to always help us no matter what we need. And he absolutely loves this place on the same level that we do. So without a doubt, him.
I would say my mom. Like, she's always been someone to, like, always believe in you no matter what. If I told her I'm gonna go build the Empire State Building right now, she'd be like, all right, do it. Like, she's just that type of person, and she's been there for us financially when we come into snags, emotionally, physically, just like amazing. And she never doubted that we couldn't do it. So it's nice to have that support no matter what, no matter if we're in the thick of it or not. Like, it's just always been. She's always been there no matter what. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I have another question for you, and it's actually a question you told me to ask everybody. If you had an extra 60 minutes in your day, what would you do with it?
You go first.
Oh. 60 minutes in a day.
It's actually a long time.
Yeah. I know. It's like, all right, like.
You know what I would do? I would take my time on, like, sitting down and actually looking at all the great things, like being appreciative of what we actually have, even if it's little to big, you know? Like, I feel like we don't do that often enough, and praise the Lord on all those things that we have. Like, we wouldn't be here without him, like, period. So I think, like, just taking that extra 60 minutes to just praise and be grateful and look at those little things that we all have, like our children laughing. Like, some people don't get that, you know? Waking up and being able to help someone, or seeing a new gym member come sign up. Like, those little things that we don't like say we're thankful for every day. I would like to take that extra 60 minutes to do that, because our life gets too busy sometimes, you know? It's crazy that we're so, like, in tune on going so busy all the time. Like, we need to slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, so part of me wants to say, like, we don't, with the kid, we don't get to watch TV anymore. And if something's on, it's never something we want. So something actually that was like, oh, I would love to sit down and be able to watch SportsCenter again for 30 minutes. But I'm past that. I'm past that. So I think for me, it would literally just be to have that downtime of sitting and either like, I don't know, reflecting on things, like she said, being grateful. We are blessed, so it's really difficult for me to be like, oh, I wish I had more time to do this and that, because the reality is I'm at a point in my life where I have time for everything I want. And so I think for me it would just be more time with the things that I really love.
So, like a cherry on the top
Yeah.
of the stuff that we like to do.
Yeah, if I prioritize something, I can make it happen right now.
Yeah. All right, my last question for you guys. If you could give advice to anybody out there, what kind of advice would you give? What's the best advice you have?
For me, it's stay persistent in everything you do, and really focus on goals that have nothing to do with money. So I think, when you're young, you think, if you really think about it as a young kid, all of your goals in some sense are tied around money. And whether it be, I want this kind of job, this kind of house, this kind of car. And you'll realize one day when you have the ability to get those things, and I'm not there, but I've already come to the realization, even when you have the ability to get those things, they don't matter. And so focus your goals on the things you really want. Make sure whatever your goals are that they don't have anything to do with money. I think you'll be a very happy person, be in a very good place.
That's a good one.
I would say, like, to tie 1440 into it, I would say, like, treat every minute you come across as like a present given to you. Like, even if you say hi to someone, you make them smile, like, treat it as a present, because it's definitely a present. And I think we get caught up in like the rush of everyday life, and it's important to kind of slow down life a little bit and realize that you can shift how you want, and being healthy is a huge shift if you're ready to do it. I would highly think about doing that.
Yeah. All right, any last words? No? All right, you guys, you heard it here first. Make every minute count. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for coming and being with me today.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it. We had fun.
Make sure you download, like, and subscribe. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I think that's all. Anyway, have a beautiful day, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Shelby.
Yeah.
Thanks. Hang on.